Hi friends, today is Saturday, January 11th, 2025, and this is Flosstube episode number 10. If you're new here, my name is Maggie and I live in Northwest Arkansas, and this is a channel about cross stitch and other crafts. You can also find me over on Instagram at Home on the Ridge, and that's home.on.the.ridge. And hopefully you like what you see here. If you do, please subscribe and leave a comment. I love to connect with you all there, and I'll just jump right in. So it has been a little over 3 weeks, I think, since the last video. And since then I've been stitching a lot. I've had a lot of downtime after Christmas, been able to fully finish a couple of things and start a few new things. And so today I thought I would just take you through and show you all of those things that I finished and worked on, and the things that I'm currently working on that are works in progress, and just take you through my plans for the new year and show you some haul. I have a lot here to show you, so it may be a long video. So with that, I'll just jump right in. Let's see, I'll start with, how about we start with previous fully finishes from last year. These are all Valentine themed. So the first one I'll show is the Happy Valentine's Day. This is by Cherry Hill Stitchery. Yep. And they this is actually a free pattern over on their Facebook page. So if you go over and join their Facebook page, you can find this pattern there and stitch it. And I stitched mine on, it's an unknown Ada. I want to say this is 14 count, just in a light blue color. And this was actually, I think this was a sale last year in 2023, yeah. And this was the very first sale that I ever participated in live. So that was really fun. And I finished it on this board from Hobby Lobby. I actually got it on clearance. And at the time, there's the whole item, but it was just a little black frame, and I finished it on some sticky board with some gingham checked fabric and some rickrack, and then I just mounted this piece on the sticky board as well. And then these little roses are from Hobby Lobby. Very cute touch. So I'm about to put all of our Valentine's Day decorations. We don't have a lot of things that we decorate with for Valentine's Day, but I do like to put pieces like this around on shelves and in tables and things, just to celebrate the holiday. So that one is cute, very cute. I like how that one turned out. The next two that I'll show you are the pillows that I made. So these are the first pillows that I have ever made. I'll show them to you one at a time. This one is Love You a Waffle Lot, and it is by Hands On Design. And I stitched this on 18 count Aida. I don't know the name. I think it's just a white Aida 18 count from Hobby Lobby. I stitched everything as called for. All the colors of thread are called for. And this backing fabric came from Walmart. And I just stuffed it, as you saw in the video, and then just sewed it here and glued on a piece of felt that I had trimmed. And then just had the rickrack in there as well. But this is the first time that I ever used my sewing machine was to make these two pillows. And I don't know why I was so intimidated by it. It's a new machine. I got it for Christmas 2 years ago. And like I said, this was the first time I had used it was to make these pillows. And I want to say I made them around, it may have been in the springtime last year, or early in the spring. But yeah, I don't know why I was so intimidated by it, because it was relatively easy. And I do hope to make more things with it. I haven't really gotten it out since then, but the second one that I made was this one. This is by Primrose Cottage. It's just their Valentine's Quaker. I forget what the name is. And I just used this pink polka dotted fabric that I got from Joann's, and this trim here. This looks like little snowballs. But I really like how that one turned out too. This is on a really light, this might be the called for fabric that I used. It's a very pale pink, and it is also looks like 18 count Aida that I used. So yeah, these are really cute, and I really like how they turned out for my first attempt at using a sewing machine. And these are actually my very first pillows that I've ever made. I was pretty happy with how they turned out. They're not perfect by any means, but yep. So those will go out, and I have like a little basket on our coffee table that I'll set those in from now through the end of February. The last one that I'll show you from last year, fully finished from last year, is I wanted to do something for my husband for Valentine's Day last year. And so I got online and I tried to find something that was like a Valentine, because I wanted to hand make his Valentine in cross stitch. And so that's this piece that you saw in the video, and it says, "Will you be my Valentine?" And this was so fun to stitch. I think this looks like Aida again. I'm sorry, I don't know what these are. This was like before I started like documenting what I was stitching on for you all. But it looks like maybe 16 count Aida. I think it's bigger than 18, or maybe, yeah, I think it's 16. But I used, this pattern is by Thistles. Oh, I actually wrote it down. This pattern is by Thistles. It's an 18 count Aida. Color is Latte from Fiber on a Whim. And I used all the called for floss for this. So again, this is finished on just a little shelf sitter board from Hobby Lobby. And I finished it the exact same way as this one, using the sticky board and rickrack. And I just hot glued everything to the board. But this was so sweet. I loved this so much, and I gave this to him for Valentine's Day last year as a homemade Valentine. So there's that. So those were my previous finishes from last year. I guess I can show you what I have finished already. So since I last saw you, so like I said, it was about 3 weeks ago, and I have finished 2 things since then. So the first one is one that I started right after Christmas, and I took some footage over on Instagram. I made a reel over there, and I'll pop that footage in here so you can see how I finished that. So that one is called Believe by Erin Elizabeth Designs. There's the stitch count if you're interested. And like I said, I started this one on 12/28. I finished it on January 1st, and I fully finished it on January 4th. And here it is. So this is a snowflake, a wooden snowflake that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. I think it was like 60 or 80% off. It was only a few dollars after Christmas to finish it on. As you saw in the video, I think it said let it snow or something on it. And I just used the sticky board and I cut it in a round. Actually, my son helped me cut it, as you saw in the video. And then I just mounted this stitching directly onto the sticky board, and then I cut another like a smaller round in that same sticky board and glued it to the back just to try to help it look a little nicer from the back. Because I did lace it like you saw in the video. But this just sits in a shelf like this. So the pattern calls for that blue. It's like a, I don't know, it was stitched on like a gray blue fabric. And I chose to stitch it in this red fabric, which is 28 count Lugana called Joy Lynn from Atomic Ranch with the called for DMC, which is like 3865, I believe. Because most of my decor is red and white, and so that's why I chose this color, and I think it turned out really nice. So there's that one. And then the second fully finished that I have for this year is this one here. And I also made a reel on this one, and I'll pop that footage in here so you can see how I made it. So this one is called North Pole Party Pics by Bent Creek in their photo booth series. And here is my fully finished. So this is a door hanger. And as you saw in the video, I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was in the toddler infant section where they have stuff to like decorate baby and toddler bedrooms. And so I found it and I thought it would be perfect for some kind of small fully finish. And I didn't know at the time I was going to use this one to finish it on. So I had grabbed it and had it just in my stash. And when I finished stitching this one, I was like, oh, I wonder if that will fit. And sure enough, it was a perfect fit. So I just stitched this one. Let's see, I'll just give you the information. So I stitched this one on 32 count Lugana in the color Graham Cracker. And I did some floss conversions here. So for the red, just to brighten it up, I feel like what was called for was a little too dark for the fabric that I chose. So for the red, I used DMC 498. For the light green, I used DMC 472. For the dark green in the elf, I used DMC 471. And then I changed the collar on the reindeer to match Santa's coat. So this was a darker red called for, and I just stitched it the same color as Santa's hat and coat. And then the buttons are actually, they didn't come with the pattern. I ordered them online from just another button company. And the button pack was called the Holly Berries pack. So I finished it, like I said, on this door hanger, and I finished it with magnets. And so these magnets my son had in his stash. They're pretty strong magnets, and I'm not sure where he got them. I'm sure he ordered them online somewhere, but they were perfect and flat. So I hot glued those onto the door hanger, and then I used these washers. I think my husband had these in his stash out in the building, but I used the washers. I hot glued them onto the actual piece so that they would magnetize on here, and I could switch it out from season to season. So just a little bit about the finishing. So the backing fabric that I used is called Chelsea's Checks. It was a half-yard bundle that I picked up in 2023, actually, and I've had it in my stash forever. Here's the label. This came from Fat Quarter Shop. And it comes like this. So there's all these colors, and I love them so much. And they were just in my stash, just waiting for me to find the perfect pieces to finish them on. And when I saw the this red and black, I was like, well, that's perfect. So that's why I chose that one. And then I just used some black rickrack and glued it around as well. So my plan is to stitch all of the Bent Creek photo booth patterns in this series and switch them out on this board. And so I have those patterns here that I will share with you. I don't know that I've shared them in the past, but I'll share them with you now. So I'm working on the one that's the snowman one that's that I would put out in January. So I'll show you that when I get to my whips. But here is the one for February. It's called Love Happens. And they're just such a cute little you know, just whimsical, fun little pattern. They stitch up really quickly. So I really, really like them. The second one is for March. It's called Irish Luck to You. Oh, I'm not going to stitch this one in gold fabric, but the next one is an Easter one. It's called Easter Surprise. And the next one is a 4th of July one. It's called Flags and Friends. The next one is for October, for Halloween. It's called Franken Boo. The next one is for Thanksgiving. It's called Pilgrim Pals. And then I think that's it, except for the one that I'm working on, the snowman one. So I found all of these at the Silver Needle in Tulsa a couple summers ago when my sister and I went over there. It was like one of the first times that I had visited over there, and I saw these. They had like displays of the previous finishes on the shelves there, and I couldn't resist them. They're so cute. I had to have them. But so I'm planning to finish them all in the exact same way and use these colors from this bundle to go along with, you know, whatever season or holiday you know, that kind of coordinates. So like I could see like this one, I think for the, I'll just show it to you now. For this one, for the snowman one, it's called Snowmen. Isn't that just so cute? It's so funny. I just love it. But I think for that one, I will finish it on this gray check and use some of this white trim, actually that I used to finish this pillow with it. So that's how I plan to finish that one. And I will show you, I'll wait and show you the stitches so I don't get myself all confused of what I showed you and what I haven't. And wait until I get to my whips. So anyway, so there's that finish, and I really, really love how it turned out. I feel like it's a pretty unique finish, and I'm gonna hang this on the door that's opposite of this camera here in my office, the craft room, so I can look at it every day. And every month it will have a different one displayed on it to go and coordinate with the seasons. So I'm really excited to get all of these finished. Okay, so the next thing I will show you is, before I go into like my whips and what I'm working on, how about we do haul first? And then I have a little stitchy related craft that I want to show you too. So who else likes to go shopping after Christmas? I think it's like my favorite time of year to go and just look for deals and look for things that, you know, that are on like major sale, like 80-90% off. It's crazy the money that you can save when you do that. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that, especially in the craft stores like Hobby Lobby and Joann's. Those are our two main stores here locally. But I wanted to show you kind of my haul that I picked up from 3 stores this year. So I went over to Joann's, and they were having 80% off of all of their, this was on December 28th. I have my receipt here because I want to show you, I want to talk about like the savings because it's incredible. But they were having 80% off all of their ribbons. And so I went through, I just took a minute and went through every single box that they had, and it was a ton of boxes. And I just found all of this like finishing trim. And like I said, it was all 80% off. And I want to say this was all, I think these were normally like $4.99. And I literally got them for $1 each. Like, so every one of them that they had, every color that they had, I picked up. Some of it's thicker than others, just cording and things, but these will be perfect for finishes, for cross stitch finishes. And then there were 2 other ribbons just that I thought maybe I could use in Christmas trees or something, or wreath. It's these, they're both wired, and it says North Pole on it, which is kind of like my theme when I decorate for Christmas, as you saw if you watched any of my house tours or anything that I shared in December. So I thought that was really cute. I got 2 of those. These were also 80% off. So yeah, all of their ribbon was 80% off. And then I also found these picks. So these were normally $2.99, and I got them for like 60 cents. I mean, so it's just crazy the money that you can save if you just go digging in the clearance bins after Christmas. It's awesome. So I thought maybe I could just cut these up and you know, use hot glue and use them for finishing pieces with cross stitch or other crafts that I'm working on. So there's that. I got 2 of those. This like I'm not sure, just greenery and little pine cones and mushrooms. Are those not the sweetest things ever? I got several of those, 3, I think, of those. And then, oh, I got 4. Oh no, these are different. So I got 3 of those, and then I got 3 of these. These actually came from Hobby Lobby. So these were 99 cents, normal price, and I got them for like 80% off. So pennies. But I thought those would also make really good finishing pieces for cross stitch. And then these, I got these at Hobby Lobby. These were normally $1.99, so I mean I got them for like, I don't know, I'm gonna do that math, it's like 80% off cents, again just pennies. So I thought for sure that I could cut these up and use them in smaller finishing pieces. And then I just found this greenery here that I thought I could put in a box or a basket or something for a finishing piece. So yeah, those were really, really fun finds. Now I just have to find a place to store it all until I'm going to use it. For right now, it's just been sitting in this bag. And then the next thing I'll show you is, while I'm on Hobby Lobby, some of those things were Hobby Lobby too, but I found this at Hobby Lobby as well. And this is, I found this in the wedding section, and I thought it would be the perfect piece for a Valentine's finish. I love the little heart detail, and oops, I hit my light. Just the pedestal. I thought that would be a perfect piece to finish something on with. This was not on clearance, but I couldn't pass it up when I saw it. It was $14.99. And you can probably find that online as well if you're interested. Next thing I'll show is we went over to, I like to go to Barnes & Noble also because they have a lot of good Christmas cards and stuff that are 50, 60, 70% off after Christmas. So I picked up some Christmas cards for next year. And also I found this, and it is a bookend. It's a holiday house bookend for half off. It was originally $34.99. I got it for $15. But I saw this and immediately had an idea for it. So as you know, if you watched any of my videos in December, I worked on my December daily project here, and I finished this album here. And as you can see, I have now run out of space here where I was displaying my December daily albums. So I pulled one of these. I saw this and thought it would be perfect to display them over. I have some floating shelves over here on this wall, and thought I could, they're a lot longer than this space here, so I thought I could display the albums there. And I pulled one of these out so you could see it up close. But they're really heavy and weighted, and use these as bookends with this December daily album collection. And I'm so excited about this find. They're so cute. I will leave them up year-round to display with those albums. But there's a matching pair. They're so, so pretty. So you just never know what you're gonna find at Barnes & Noble. They have a lot more than just books. And I also like to take advantage of their sales, after Christmas sales. So I'll move this out of the way here. So that was my haul. Before I move into my plans and current stitching, I thought I would share this with you also. So I got this for Christmas, and it is the very first iPad that I have ever owned. So I'm learning how to use it. I got the keyboard here that goes with it. But my plan is to, it's an iPad Pro. Let's see where the pin goes here. And my plan is to use it for, to store all of my stitching related things, Flosstube notes and just like stitchy planning things. So that's the reason I wanted it, and it's so nice. Like I said, I've never had one before, so I'm still learning. If you guys know, if you have an iPad and you use it for stitching, let me know in the comments how you use yours. I would love to hear some more ideas about that. I thought about, and let me know what you think about this idea, but I thought about moving all of my patterns. So currently I have all my patterns in this huge binder. It's heavy and bulky and I've outgrown it. I keep all of my stitchy stuff in this tower here, and there's a bottom drawer where this lives, and it won't even close anymore. And so anytime, you know, there's a new pattern or you know, I add to my collection, or you know, somebody gifts me something, now it just lives on top of the binder in that drawer, and so it's kind of getting out of control. And so I don't know, I was thinking of maybe digitalizing this. So instead of having them in these plastic sheets, I could take photos of them with the pattern and all the information, like the cover sheet and everything, and then keep them as files in the iPad. So does anybody else do that? Is that a crazy idea? And then I could just gift these patterns, or you know, put them somewhere else, so that they're not just taking up space in that drawer. I don't know. Is that crazy? Let me know your thoughts on that. But that's kind of an idea that I had, just to utilize the iPad. And then also, I've heard a lot of people use on Apple products the markup. Is it Markup XP? And I downloaded that to use for like PDF patterns and things, which I know that probably won't work when I take like pictures of the patterns and just make like PDFs of them. But at least I would have like a big screen where I could blow them up, you know, and see them better when I'm stitching. But I know the Markup XP, I think is what it's called, is really good for tracking your stitches, the number of stitches that you do, and which I don't do currently because I have no way to do that, you know. But if there are other stitchy apps that you like, or there are other things that you use an iPad for that's stitch related, let me know, because I'm interested in learning all the things, and I'm excited about that gift. So with that, I think I will go into the WIPs and then plans. There's one other thing that I'll show you that's kind of falls outside of that, but still stitching related. So have you guys ever made your own needle minders? I was on Instagram the other day and just looking at you know, stories, and people were sharing. I just see, you know, people that, you know, what they're stitching and what they finished or whatever. And this I came across this somebody's story where they had a needle minder of a Rugrats cartoon and so my oldest grew up in the era of like you know, he was mid to late 90s baby, and so he grew up watching all of those Nickelodeon cartoons, like Rugrats and Wild Thornberries, and you know, the original vintage SpongeBob episodes, Hey Arnold, all of those. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So anyway, those cartoons are, you know, they were playing on the TV, you know, all the time, and so they're kind of special just to see those and have memories of those, because it reminds me of when my boys were small. So with that, I decided that I would go out and find some pins you know, like the pins that people put, lapel pins or whatever that people put on jean jackets or whatever, in a 90s cartoon theme, and make my own needle minders. So I thought I would share with you. I made 4 of them. This is the first one. It is the Good Noodle Star. So if you're a SpongeBob fan, this is in one of the episodes where he is in boating school. He is, and Patrick goes with him for the day. He has all these Good Noodle Stars stickers for good behavior or whatever on the board. And so that's the first one. But I wanted to show you the backs. So this is what the back looks like. I just found these magnets, just a set of magnets that came in this container on Amazon. And they worked really well for this project. And I glued them on with just some Gorilla Glue. So here's the back. And I just used the magnet. I glued on the magnet. So I took the pin off. I used like pliers, and I pulled off the stick pin part of it. And then my husband and my middle son, Jonah, helped me to sand it, like grind it with my husband's Dremel. And then I just glued on that magnet with that Gorilla Glue, and the other one just sticks right on top of it. And these are really, really strong. I don't have a needle here to show you, but they're super strong. And I just love how it turned out. So there's the first one. The second one is also SpongeBob. It's Mr. Krabs' first dollar. He has this framed in his house in one of the episodes where SpongeBob and Patrick go and paint his house. So that's really fun. The next one is Rugrats. And this is the one that I saw. It was similar. It wasn't the same, but that I saw on someone's stories showing they were showing what they were stitching, and I just saw this needle minder on their fabric, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. So this inspired the whole project. But this is Angelica's doll. Angelica Pickles, is that her name, last name? And this is Cynthia, her doll. Obviously just the head of her doll. It's so crazy, but it's so funny, and it just reminds me of my son watching Rugrats. I can hear the music playing in my head right now as I'm looking at this. It brings back such good memories for me, and it's such a fun piece. I love it so much. But again, I just finished it the same way. It's very strong. And then the last one is Hey Arnold. So if you're familiar with the Hey Arnold cartoon, there is an episode where this boy is afraid to leave his stoop. It's this, they call him Stoop Kid. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. And he stays on his steps, on his stoop, and won't leave. And so this is like extra Snoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. It's silly. It's just a little silly cartoon. But man, Josh, my oldest, loved Hey Arnold. We watched so many episodes of Hey Arnold, and this is a really good one too. So now that I have showed you guys these, I was saving them. I wasn't using them because I wanted to show you today. But now I'm so excited I get to use them. They're so fun, and they just, like I said, remind me of when my boys were little. So, okay, now I'm gonna get into my stitching. Let's see. So, before I just jump right in, I thought I would just share my plans first, because that kind of will explain why I'm stitching on what I'm stitching on. So I got this book of days. A lot of you probably already know what this is and use it yourself. This is the first year that I have ever ordered one and have used it. And so far I'm loving it. So I got it, and I just kind of decorated the insides with stickers, with some peanut stickers that are themed for the various months. So like for Valentine's Day. I love peanuts, if you don't know. April has an Easter theme, so I had some Easter. These were just in my stash that I had. Peanuts, peanut stickers. So, you know, every month I just kind of went and just randomly placed some stickers just to kind of decorate it a little bit. I guess it's a popular thing with people who do these that I'm learning. And the inside, I decided to print out my WIPGO board. So I'm playing WIPGO for the first time ever. I see you guys play it all, you know, every year, and this year I decided to participate. So this is my WIPGO board. I just literally just printed it off on my color printer and just kind of trimmed around the edges and used double-sided tape to tape it to the inside of my book. And these are the projects that I'm planning to work on when the numbers are called each month. So if you're not familiar with WIPGO, Jessie, oh gosh, you guys are probably yelling it out at me. What is her name? Jessie Marie? Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm butchering her name. I should have wrote that down. Anyway, she's the author of the creator of WIPGO, WIPGO. And basically what it is like a bingo board for projects that are the numbers. She calls the numbers on the 25th of the month prior to the month that you're going to actually do the stitching for the numbers that are called, or whatever. You could do house projects or reading books, you know, organizational projects. It doesn't have to be stitching related. You could play this game for anything really. And but mine primarily is 100% stitching, obviously. And so what I did was I took every single WIP that I have currently and a few new starts here. So everything that you saw me working on in December is on here. And my Halloween projects are on here, and a few new ones and a few new starts are on here. So the numbers were called December 25th for January, and those were numbers 20 and 11. So I'm just gonna write down the numbers that are called here, and I have the projects that were associated with those numbers highlighted in yellow. And those are the WIPs that I've been working on primarily, and I'll show you those. As we get into the calls each month and things are called, I'll be more specific and show you closer of what's actually chosen or called for and what I'm actually stitching, rather than take you through all of that today, because I think this video might be too long anyway. But then the next page, I have just another little summary of the tiny towns. And if you saw my last video, you saw that I had an idea to start one a month I have 12 of those patterns, and so I had assigned them by month. And I actually got a start on that. So I just have a column there for start and finish. And each month, the ones that I'm gonna be working on. So I put that on the second page. And then as you go into the month, and you have a full page of the full spread of the month, and you can write in your projects or plans or anything really that you want. But so I'm putting in mine what I've worked on. So I don't have this completely filled out yet, but I have stitched every day so far in January. And when I finish something, I'm gonna just print off those and use double-sided tape to put a picture of the finish inside my calendar so that I can just go back through and have a memory of that as the year goes on, of what I finished and when. You can also write your notes of things that you're working on. But yeah, so far I love planners and staying organized, and so I think this will really help to do that. In the back, there's another, this Friends, Retreats, Projects, and Other Amusements page. I just added the photo booth series, and I'm working on the snowman now. I started it on January 7th. I'll show that to you in a minute. And then this one is not really time bound. So the tiny towns that I showed you, the tiny town here, and then the photo booth series, those are not part of WIPGO. Those are just like over and above, like extra stitching that I will be doing in addition to WIPGO. But then on the last page, there is advanced planning by month. And I have 2 projects here that I have decided that I'm going to stitch this year. The first one is, it is a birthday sal that Lacey at the Sleepy Stitcher is hosting with her and a couple of friends. It is, it starts on March 15th. So I think that was like that may be her actual birthday, but that was a date that was like close to all of their birthdays. My birthday is April 2nd, so it's really close to that time frame. And the sal is anything, the theme is anything bright and colorful. So I reached out to her on her last Flosstube. She has she talks about it in her last Flosstube if you want to check it out, the Sleepy Stitcher. And I decided, I had shared this with her, gosh, in the fall, I think, because she stitches a lot of full coverage things, and I have never stitched anything full coverage, like to the extent that she stitches. And so she was kind of inspiring me to pick something. And so I'd shared this with her in the fall. And when she decided that she was going to do this birthday sal, I was like, okay, that's perfect. I'm going to do it. So this is the full coverage piece that I'm going to work on for that birthday sal with her and her friends. This is called Magic Kingdom Map, number 86. It is from Etsy by I Cross Stitch Pattern. And I'll show you the information here if you want to screenshot that. But it's actually on sale right now. And it is 275 by 253, so quite large. And it uses, it takes 47 DMC colors. So this will be a new start for me on March 15th as part of that birthday sal with Lacey. And I'm excited to start it. I haven't kitted it up. I haven't picked the fabric. I don't guess the fabric really matters, really, because it's all literally going to all be completely covered, and that's the whole point of full coverage, right? So probably I'll just pick a white Ada or something. But I'm a Disney fan, if you didn't already know, and I love this one so much. And it fits the bill. It's a full coverage, and it's, I don't think her sal, I don't think it has to be full coverage, but I think they have picked full coverages. But it definitely fits the bill because it's very bright and colorful. And so I want to start that for my birthday this year. Thank you, Lacey, for inspiring me to rip that Band-Aid off and go for it. It's a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. It'll be my very first full coverage. And this isn't even the extent of full coverage that some people do, really. But I figure, what the heck, I'm gonna give it a shot. So there's that one. So I put that as like a March, April time frame because like I said, my birthday's April 2nd. I'm gonna start on the 15th with her and her friends. The second one I'm going to start is in July for Jolly July, and it's called Christmas Wonderland by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And I saw Adelaide from Adelaide Stitches. She just finished this recently. You can see it in one of her December Flosstubes, I believe. But it is amazing. I love it so much. There's so many fun little details in here. And so I definitely want to stitch it too. This is 205 stitches by 118. So it's quite large as well. And I was talking to Joy at Carolina Stitchers about this too. And Joy, if you're watching, are you going to start this with me? Officially, we can make it official. And start this in Jolly July if you're up for it. I haven't kitted it up. I don't know what fabric I'm using. Probably just use the DMC that it calls for. There's a lot of color change in this, but it's so worth it. So go over and check out Adelaide stitches to see her finish, because it is spectacular. So those are two pretty big projects that I have in the works for this year. Okay, now we're getting into WIPs. So the two calls for WIPGO for January were 20 and 11. So my number 20 was the Halloween sampler by Teresa Kogut. And I'm so excited that this one was called, because I was kind of feeling the itch to get back to it. You remember, if you've been watching, that was the one that I plan to finish on this tic-tac-toe board from Hobby Lobby. I have the project here in my bag that I got from Snug Harbor Crafts. Thank you, Debbie. And I will show you the book in case you're not familiar. But this is the book that it came from Teresa Kogut, and this is the sampler that I'll be stitching on the front. I'm just going to be stitching. I've decided, I think before I said I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted to do the witches or the cats or a combination of both. I have decided that I'm going to only stitch the cats and finish those in that tic-tac-toe board. And her pattern is for the cats is like spread out across a few different pages. So what I did was just make copies, photocopies of them, and I'll kind of show you far back. And I just splice them together on paper and tape them, and that's what I'm using for the pattern, so I don't mess that book up. But I have a few of them stitched, and I'll show you where I'm at. So the first time, the first one that I finished, I only used 2 strands of DMC, and I felt like it turned out, gosh, there's fuzz all over it, just one second. It just turned out not as, it just didn't fill in the black of the cat as much as I wanted it to. So I went back and decided that I would stitch it again, and this time I used 3 strands of DMC, and you may not even be able to tell the difference on camera, but I can definitely see a difference in person. And so I'm going to finish the rest of them with the three DMCs. 3 strands of DMC, and this one won't go to waste. I decided that I will finish this one into an ornament, and so you know those little ornaments, I may use this, and I may just use the sticky board, but these came from Hobby Lobby in that pack, you know, that you get at Christmas time, and the size is perfect. Let me show you, roughly show you here, like what that would look like. And then just back it with, I had this fabric in my stash and thought it went really well with it. And then I found some ribbons in my stash, some Halloween ribbons. And so I've just kind of like had this sitting in here on my project table and thought that that I could finish it like this into an ornament, so the stitching doesn't go wasted on this one, that I only used the 2 strands. But for the rest of the 9 squares, I will go ahead and use the 3 strands. And just to tell you my plan, so there's only 5 cats across here, so my plan is to make this one be the middle one, and finish it here, and here is the middle one, and then the rest of them I'll stitch twice, so that will make a total of 9. So the one with the cape I'll put in the center, and then the rest I'll stitch 2 of each, and then just make them opposite or whatever, spread them out and finish them on this board. And if you missed me talking about this earlier, here's the number. If I can get that, can you see that? It's from Hobby Lobby, tic-tac-toe board. But yeah, I'm really excited about this finish, and I have stitched, so I stitched the one that was on 2 strands, and now I'm going to make an ornament out of that, and now I've got 3 others stitched up. So I finished the 2 that match, like you saw. Let's see, where did my board go? I need to get one of those boards like you guys have that like hold your fabric down for you. I finished these 2. And then I finished this one, and now I've got to stitch it again to make 2 of these. So these are so fun and so cute, and I'll show you, like, I think it's going to be like a perfect fit for these little boxes. But hopefully soon I'll have this as a fully finished. But see how they're just going to fit in there just perfectly. So I'm going to keep working on that. My plan is to work on what's called for WIPGO. You know, as I feel called to do, but I definitely want to touch each project at least once in the month that it's called. And then if I don't fully finish it in the month that it's called, then I will carry it over to the next month and just stitch it after the new calls are called, after I've worked on the new projects that are called. And that way they don't fully go back into my storage and not get finished, because I definitely want to get these finished. Hopefully I can finish this by Halloween. That would be awesome. The second one was call number 11, and it's a Christmas one that I had started as part of the hashtag that I was working on, the challenge that I had in December, Holly Jolly Startmas, and it is the Madame Chantilly. I'm not sure the name. It's in Italian. But it is Santa in a hot air balloon with Rudolph. And the last time I showed it to you, I had only gotten the red in on it. And so far this month, I haven't actually picked this up yet in the month of January. I had stitched this in December, but I had added, I think since you've seen it, I added some of the brown in the basket of the hot air balloon that he's sitting in. So I am definitely planning to get back to this. It is stitched on 16 count waxing moon Aida in the, I think the color is Fabric Flare. But the size is 100 by 203. And I will hopefully get a few more nights of stitching in on this in the month of January. So I'm working on this one and the Teresa Kogut one. Those are my WIPGO calls. And then I am also working on the snowman photo booth that I talked about earlier, called Snowman. And this is a start. Since you've seen it, I had not started this yet. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana in the color Stormy Night. So I got the border all stitched. These stitch up pretty quickly. The first block is finished. And then I started on the second block. So this is the same fabric that that I showed you guys last time for my unicorn charts. I did decide, thank you all for your feedback. Everybody, I think, was in unison to say, yes, that fabric is a perfect choice for your unicorn charts. just as a refresher, these are those charts. I have not started this yet. I'm just wanted to show you that I had made a decision on that fabric. I'm going to stitch them together, and it's going to look like this. And I was in search for a very long time of fabric that looked like a stormy sky, and I found this 32 count. Let's set it. 32 count Lugana in the color name is excuse me, Stormy Night. So this is the cut that I'm going to use for that. It's all measured out and ready for my first set of stitches. And I think you guys are right. I think this is going to be perfect for it, and I'm very excited to get a start on it. I won't start on it probably until it's called for WIPGO. Those patterns are on my WIPGO board. So right now I've got plans to continue stitching this series. So hopefully the next time you see me, this will be finished, fully finished. And like I said, I'll show you again. So now that you're looking at the actual stitching, it might make more sense. I plan to finish it using this backing fabric and this trim. And it will be finished on this. So there's those. And what else can I show you? Is that everything? Oh no, there's one more thing. So I got to start on the winter, or the Frosty Tiny Town is what it's called. This is the one that I had designated for January. I'm sure you're all familiar with this series, but there's a picture of it just in case you're not. And I did a center start. I'm also stitching this on the that Stormy Night fabric, the same fabric. And get my board here. I finished the first house, so it's the center house. I'm using all the called for floss. So I gotta start. I'm really excited. I have had so much time to just stitch and finish things and craft, and it's been a lot of fun. I love that I'm just having some time in the evenings, or I just make the time, even if I don't even if I should be doing laundry or cleaning. I love that I'm prioritizing some downtime after Christmas. So I think that's everything. You guys, so for the remainder of the month, I'm going to continue to work on my 2 WIPGO calls, the Santa balloon pattern by Madame Chantilly, and then the Halloween one, the Halloween sampler by Teresa Kogut. And then I'll also continue to work on Tiny Town, the Tiny Town, and also the Snowman photo booth. So the next time you see me, hopefully I will have a couple of more finishes, maybe some fully finishes. And with that, I will let you go. Happy stitching, and I'll see you next time.